Welcome to part 1, episode 26 of Tombstone TV. I am your host, as always, the voice of Championship Wrestling Series. I am Bullet Von Awesome, and this opening contest is a tag team match representing the rock band known as Wild Tiger, escorted to the ring by the CWS Women's World Champion, the Wildcat, Kitty Richards. I give you Nick Sparks and Sweet Kenny Campbell, Wild Tiger. Will Richards, also a member of the band Wild Tiger, is our current reigning and defending Intercontinental Champion. The Wildcat, Kitty Richards, being the Women's Champion. Can Nick Sparks and Sweet Kenny Campbell potentially become the tag team champions here at CWS? Find out with me, folks. We know last week the Cosmic Alliance, Demon Moonbeam Jr. and Moonbeam Sr. beat the Savage Hearts in tag action. As well as that, Los Bestias Locas beat the Castle Twins. So both of those teams will face each other next week. We have 2 more tag team matches tonight. We've got this one. Oh my god, folks, look at this. It's the team of Hammer and Nils. On your left, Shock Hammer, and on your right, Fabian Nils. But they are not alone. This is an interesting development here in a managerial capacity for the first time here at Championship Wrestling Series. Miss Fortune appears to be in the corner of Hammer and Nils. This is interesting because Miss Fortune is the number 1 contender for the Wildcat Kitty Richards CWS Women's Championship. What a power play here by Miss Fortune, trying to get into the head of Wild Tiger here. What an interesting alliance after being formed here between these guys. As I was saying, we have 2 tag matches tonight. Winners of both will face off next week. And of those 2 tag matches next week, the winners of those will face off in episode 28, crowning new number 1 contenders, who will face the champions Big and Tall at a Fight at the Opera. We are on the road to Fight at the Opera, folks. You can see that poster in the background on that barricade. Look at this. Sweet Kenny Campbell knocking Fabian off the apron and now turning his attention back to Jacques Hammer, but eats a big right hand. Fight at the Opera is just a few weeks away, folks. Fight at the Opera 2. And Jacques Hammer with a picture-perfect dropkick into the corner, taking Sweet Kenny Campbell off its feet. Now a stomp across the back. I hope you guys can stick with us and join us for Fight at the Opera. I want to thank you if you've been watching so far. We're 26 episodes in, 6 pay-per-view events live on YouTube. We have Tombstone TV every Tuesday night. 1 monthly event at least. Championship Wrestling Series is where wrestling is all fun and games, but it's not fun and games for Sweet Kenny Campbell right now as he evades that right and answers back with a right of his own. Oh, an elbow to the face rocks Fabian down to his knees, and Sweet Kenny Campbell now. Oh, stiff left jab to the jaw. Kenny Campbell dragging Fabian Nils into the corner here. Is he going to make the tag to Nick Sparks? He does. Legal tag here on Tombstone TV. Sparks from the top. Axe handles across the back. Fabian is in the wrong part of the ring right now. Oh, and look at the strength of Nick Sparks. He just tossed Fabian Nils over the top of his head. And he's going for a cover here, folks. 1 and a kick out at 1. The former light heavyweight champion, the former intercontinental champion, will not be beaten by that. Not that easily. Fabian now grapples up, and look at this. A belly-to-belly overhead throw launching Nick Sparks into the air. And now it's Nick that's on the wrong side of the ring. Fabian with a snap suplex and a series of stomps across the chest to Nick Sparks. Oh, and look at that, a knee across the face. It looks as though he might have just busted open the face of Nick Sparks. A stomping on the bicep makes the tag. Jacques Hammer, Lao legal. First of our tag matches here tonight, folks, and look at that with a springboard assisted dropkick. Jacques Hammer preventing the tag with the knee across the back. Taunting Wild Tiger, taunting Sweet Kenny Campbell. Look at that knee again to the already bust open face of Nick Sparks. And an uppercut into that bleeding face. Nick now back up, elbow to the back, whips Jacques off the ropes. And look at that tilt or whirl slam. the power of Nick Sparks. And he makes a tag now. Sweet Kenny Campbell legal. And a neck breaker takes Jacques Hammer down. And look at that for a DDT. He just dropped him right on his head. And then a kick to the face. Sweet Kenny Campbell. With a clothesline now taking Jacques Hammer out of the ring and to the floor. Sweet Kenny Campbell now taking his attention over to Fabian Nielsen. And look at that stunner over the top rope. Launching Fabian to the outside. Misfortune talking trash to Sweet Kenny Campbell. As he whips Jacques Hammer into that corner. And scoops Jacques up. Power slam. Kenny now going to the top rope, but Jack play possum. No, he evades it. And look at that. Double axes across the back from the top. Sweet Kenny Campbell one step ahead of Jacques Hammer there. Bounces the head off that top turnbuckle. Folks, before this match ends, let me know in the comments below who you think is going to win. And again, that double axe across the back. A lot of axes here for this rock band Wild Tiger. Head crank being applied. Referee watches on. Wildcat on the outside. Giving advice here to Nick Sparks, who bounces the head of Jacques Hammer off that top turnbuckle, and the lads make a tag again. Wild Tiger in control right now. Jacques Hammer taking a bit of a beating, and double shoulder tackle takes the big man down. Kenny now dragging Jacques over, risky, over to the Hammer and Nails corner, but look at this, right in front of Fabian. And right in front of me, Best Seats and House Hooks rolls through, and look at that, the wild stunner, and now he's got a pinfall on, and one. Fabian in to break up the pin at 1. I think Kenny was a bit too brash there with that. And look at this, Jacques Hammer with another dropkick, this time aimed at the knee of Kenny Campbell. Kenny is so agile. You take away the knee, you'll take away that agility. It's a lot of Kenny's work. And look at that picture, perfect drop kick. Jacques Hammer takes Kenny Campbell down. Referee gets the cover at a 1. And a kick out, a shoulder up from Sweet Kenny Campbell at 1. Wild Tiger still in this, but for how long? Look at this. Jacques attack. Look at that for the power bomb. And an elbow to the inside of the leg. Jacques Hammer targeting the body here. Look at that again. The dropkick to the knee, taking away Kenny Campbell's abilities for agility, his agility ability, if you will. And look at that big right hand here. And look, oh my God, he just no-sold it. Danger zone, and he no-sold it. And now he's going for the nail gun. That's it. The nail driver. 1. Nick Sparks in, breaks up the pinfall at 1. Jacques turns his attention to Nick and whips him to the outside. Kenny Campbell rolls to the outside. Misfortune now helping him up. Jacques Hammer suplex on the outside to Nick. And now Sweet Kenny Campbell turns over to save Nick Sparks. He kicks him into the gut here. And look at this. Release of the gory on the outside. Nick Sparks dragged into the ring by Fabian. Fabian with some double axes of his own across the chest of Wild Tiger's Sweet Kenny Campbell. 2 and a 3. Look at that. That hammer blow. Fabian Mills with that hammer blow to the neck and chest. Just took Sweet Kenny Campbell out, and Nick Sparks was out on his feet. Couldn't break up the fall here, folks. The team of Hammer and Nails will progress to next week's episode. Having Misfortune in the corner might have bowled pretty well here for the team of Hammer and Nails. They're looking to get revenge on Big and Tall. Folks, come back for part 2 where we have a Contenders qualifier match. It's our 4th Contenders qualifier matchup. Join us in part 2. Part 2, episode 26, Tombstone TV. It's Tuesday night, folks. You know what that means. We're coming to you live to tape here. Championship Wrestling Series, where wrestling is all fun and games, and this is a Contenders qualifier. This is our 4th Contenders qualification matchup, folks. Introducing first hoping that this contenders match will be his big chance at the World's Heavyweight Championship at Major Attraction. The Death Eater himself, this is Killian Curse. And Killian Curse is looking to win tonight, folks. After the success last month of contenders qualification matches, we have decided to go at it again, folks. This time round, there will be 10 contenders qualification matches. 20 superstars, 20 wrestlers will compete for the opportunity to get into the contenders matchup. Winner of that will become the #1 contender for Major Attractions World's Heavyweight Championship. We know from last week, Lord N. Xavier has qualified. We know that Wrench Leader, the president of the Grim Reapers, he qualified, and Dragon Noir has also qualified. And which of these two will qualify? Introducing second into this matchup, it's El Maestro. This guy is a Spanish teacher and a music teacher by day, pro wrestler at night. He hides his identity so his students don't know that he drops fools on their head for a living. He likes to conduct pain by night. Folks, this is El Maestro. Killian Curse and El Maestro, you couldn't get two more polar opposite personality types, really, could you? Which of these two men is going to Contender 7? Killian ready, El Maestro ready, referee's ready, rings the bell, and this thing's off, folks. Here we go. Big right hand here. Killian just turned El Maestro inside out, and look at that big back bump right there. El Maestro down center of the ring. Killian Curse has him measured, locks up to the bigger man, and again, look at that belly to back German overhead suplex, and Killian Curse with an open hand slap, and look at that, a knee already in with that knee to the face. And now some ground and pound offense here, slapping and punching away at the face of El Maestro. Killian Curse is vicious. He's going for these killing blows already from the top rope. Knee across the face. Killian Curse, a lot of knee to the face offense. He calls that running knee to the face the Avada Kedavra. And again, look at this face. Targeted attacks here. Right hands into the face again. And if he can't beat you and put you away with that knee, he's going to lock in that Cruciatus Curse. Killian, ground and pound here again, just punching away, taking away El Maestro's consciousness. Just going to pump away and pound on the face of El Maestro. Goes for that kick, this time missed, and it's El Maestro this time with a big boot kicking Killian into the face. El Maestro, a big right hand and a chop across the chest, and a super kick takes Killian Curse down. Grabs the head and just slams Killian into the mat at 1, and a kick out at 1. Killian Curse kicks out at 1, but eats a kick again to the face. This is the theme of the match, folks. Just kicking the stuffing out of each other. I don't care who you are, getting hit in the face hurts. Killian rolls through, turns this thing back around. Killian back in control, but El Maestro kips up. Lock up, whip, and look at that. Another big boot takes Killian Curse down off the feet, and now it's El Maestro's turn to get the ground and pound offense on Killian Curse. Springboard second rope assisted forearm. That clothesline driven into the chest of the much bigger man, taking Killian down. El Maestro in control now, it seems, after turning the tide of this one. Killian balanced precariously over those ropes, and now it's El Maestro targeting the arm of Killian, whipping him into that turnbuckle. El Maestro follows it up, misses with the big splash. Killian, oh my god, goes for the forearm and misses. El Maestro has Killian scouted, it seems. He takes him down, he's locked in that chokehold. He's got in that crossface in on Killian Curse, who's got to try to roll through, and he does. He rolls out of it, and now it's Killian who clotheslines El Maestro out on over the top rope. Killian slides underneath those ropes and out to the floor. Ducks under, and Killian with the DDT outside on the floor. Again, face, offense. Killian Curse is ready. Ready, and again, a knee to the back this time of El Maestro. And this time it's El Maestro whipping Killian up there towards the fence, towards those barricades. Slamming the hand of Killian Curse down onto the mat. Thin padding outside on the floor, folks, barely protects them from the concrete below. El Maestro stomps across the chest of Killian Curse, stomp across the back of the arm. Ducks under, rolls through. El Maestro kips up and kicks Killian Curse in the face. Referees count up to 7. These two would want to get back into the ring sharpish. And El Maestro picks Killian up. It drops Killian. He's locked in. Oh my God, he's got it locked in right there. Killian has nowhere to go. Refs count up to 9. El Maestro needs to break this or we're going to have 2 men counted out. There'll be no winner. Are they both going to get counted out? They do. A draw? Ladies and gentlemen, I don't believe we've ever had a draw here. What's this going to mean for the contenders matchup? Neither men qualify? Management were not prepared for this, let me assure you. Come back, folks, for our next tag team matchup in part 3. As I'm getting word in my ear, management will make a decision as to what's going to happen here tonight. Yeah, folks, come back for part 3. We have a tag team matchup coming up next year on Tombstone TV. Folks, anything can happen. Clearly, a championship wrestling series. Thanks for coming back. This is part 3 of episode 26, Tombstone TV. And we just had a very confusing end to our last matchup. If you know, you know, and if you don't, go back and watch it. Folks, this next matchup is our second men's tag team matchup of the night. Winner of this match will go on to face Hammer and Nails next week on Tombstone TV episode 27 as we continue to find our new number 1 contenders for big and tall CWS Tag Team Championships of the World. Introducing first the team of Caras de las Muertes. On your left, Cara de Miedo, and on your right, it's Cara del Diablo. This team of brothers have traveled the world all the way up from Mexico to be here in Cork, Ireland, which is where we're based, folks. We are a global promotion based out of a living room in Carrigaline, Cork, Ireland. But Caras de las Muertes on their way to the ring here, hoping that they can defeat whoever it is that CWS management have put in front of them. Roadblocks to gold here. Caras de las Muertes travel the world. They've been to Mexico, Japan, America. They have been all over Europe and the UK. 1 tag team gold together. We've seen them opposed before as well, but tonight they are teaming up. And who will face the team of Caras de las Muertes? I await on bated breath here, folks, on Tombstone TV this Tuesday night. And folks, it's the former CWS World's Tag Team Champions themselves, the team of Bruce and Wayne Manor. Bad Manners. We haven't seen Bad Manners much here at CWS. Recently, they have been on a bit of an excursion. If you've been following their careers, you'll know that they've been in Italy and France and Germany doing a European tour recently. But Bruce and Wayne are back here and they're looking to challenge for CWS Tag Team Championship Gold again. And this will be an interesting matchup here, folks. Both teams very athletic, high flyers. Cara del Miedo is going to start this thing off with Wayne Manor. Wayne's going straight after Demiedo. picks him up, and look at this. DDT just dropped Demiedo onto his face. And now Wayne makes the tag. Brother Bruce in that full face mask. Look at this picture. Perfect drop kick. Bruce Banner taking Demiedo down and goes for the cover in the corner. Kick out at 1. Bruce Banner with that arm draped DDT to Demiedo, and now he's cranking at that arm, pulling it back right in front of his brother Del Diablo. Wayne, legal again, makes a tag and looks for that running step up, misses. Demiedo from the top rope with a moonsault, taking Wayne Banner down, but Wayne gets back up and answers with the right hand, and look at this takedown here. Wayne Banner has all the skills as a pro wrestler and somehow still finds a little time to disrespect. Look at that, wrenching on the arm of Demiedo. Wayne Banner taking the time to taunt, but took a little too much time, and he gets chopped across the chest. A big open hand slap here from Cara Demiedo. Kick to the gut, and it looks like he's going for a neck breaker, and he takes Wayne Banner down. Demiedo now, look at that, an elbow across the chest. Lashing the hand into the flat of the mat, and Demiedo makes a tag to his brother Cara Del Diablo for the first time here. Cara Del Diablo now legal, and look at the innovation here. Look at that for a DDT. Wayne didn't know if he was coming or going there for a moment. Del Diablo now. Oh my God, 2 feet drop kick to the side of the head. And a kick across the back of Wayne Banner. And Cara Del Diablo absolutely taking the mick, but he goes for a front flip, and Wayne rolls out of the way. Gets out of the way of that flipping senton and gets Diablo up and drops him down. But now it's Diablo who steps up, leaps up, and goes for that head scissors. And Wayne Banner just says nope and walks out of the way. Bruce now legal. Diablo gets a head scissors on Brother Bruce, and look at this airplane spin takedown, takes Brother Bruce to the floor. Kicks low, gut punches and a step up. Look at that for a Hurricane Rana variation to take Bruce Banner down. These two teams of brothers know each other quite well. Faced off very few times in the past, and never before for Championship Wrestling Series. So folks, this is a brand new matchup for you guys. Brand new matchup for me to call. I am Bullet Von Awesome. If you're just joining us, the voice of Championship Wrestling Series. Look at that, 2 knees to the back stabber here. Cara Del Diablo taking Bruce Banner down, and Bruce and Wayne seem to be playing victim here. And as I say, if Bruce fights back out at Del Diablo's grip, scoops him up, and look at that, bridged the suplex but decided to release it. Bruce Banner whips Cara Del Diablo off the ropes, and look at the power. He launched him all the way to the outside, and he landed right in front of my desk, and look at that for a knee to the face. Bruce Banner just kneed Cara Del Diablo in next Tuesday. This is all to progress to become the #1 contenders for the Tag Team Championships, folks. For a shot at big and tall's tag team titles at Fight at the Opera 2, which is this month's. Oh, look at that. Bruce Banner just inadvertently chopped the referee, but somehow didn't get disqualified. I'm unsure about that call from the referee. Referee's discretion, I guess, but Cara Del Diablo now lashing out at Bruce with a series of kicks. Turns the tide, and look at that for an it factor. Cara Del Diablo taking the time to taunt, but gave Bruce too much time. Wayne now legal. Wayne Banner gets in. Wayne Banner. Look at that for a snap suplex, and he just took Cara Del Diablo down. Did the Manners manage to flip momentum here again, folks? Diablo now whipped into that bottom corner. Wayne Banner flies in after him. And look at that standing shooting star. Wayne Banner now with the cover. 1, kick out at 1. Cara Del Diablo kicks out at 1. He's still in this. And look at that for an elbow across the chest. Diablo now rolling to the outside, and a stunner over the top rope. Wayne Banner just stunned Cara Demiedo, who's now flat to the mat outside on those thin pads. The Manners both in the ring now as the referee's trying to count him out. Bruce now gets backstab rolled through. Diablo has chokehold locked in here. It looks to me like his foot's under the ropes, but the referee didn't see it. It took for Wayne Manor to break up the submission attempt. Wayne on the outside, Cara Demiato on the outside calling for his brother to make the tag. Both men trying to get to their feet. Bruce up to his feet first, trying to drag Del Diablo to those ropes. Big right hand. And look at this, a rope-assisted choke here. Bruce Manor. And again, that running knee, that knee lift to the face. Del Diablo tries to get to his brother Demiato, and he does. Bruce took too long. Demiato now legal, and Demiato goes for a dropkick. Bruce sidesteps. Cara Del Diablo's had to roll to the outside to catch his breath. Demiato gets German suplexed over the top of the head here. Bruce Manor in total control makes the tag to the much fresher Wayne Manor, who's now legal. Right hand to Demiato. He's grabbed him by the wrist, twists through, rolls under, and look at that, trying to break the wrist. This time it's Demiato, floats under. Big right hand. Demiato in control of Wayne Manor here, whips him into that far corner, and a kick to the gut takes Wayne Manor down to the floor. Demiato, what's he going for here, folks? And look at that, into the corner. Demiato. This time with the cover on, and it's Bruce who has to get in and break up the count after Demiato with that disrespectful crotch assault in the corner. Oh my God, T-bone overhead throw. Demiato. Not quick enough here. Wayne Manor lifts him up, and look at this for a pump handle powerbomb right in front of Del Diablo, who has to get into the ring and break up that pinfall. Wayne Manor standing shooting star to Demiato, and it looks like on the outside here, Bruce has been taken down. Del Diablo now legal. Del Diablo, oh my God, he evades that rolling heel kick that we've seen so much out of Bad Manners. Moves usually turn the tide for them. Del Diablo rolls through now, torquing at the leg. Del Diablo leaps up. Look at the grace, the athleticism of Del Diablo to get to the top, and look at that for a perfect moonsault from the top rope, and a cover now on Wayne Manor 2, and Bruce into break it up at the count of 2. That was it surely, folks. And now Del Diablo taking out his frustrations on Bruce, but Bruce is not the legal man. He still suffered that quick crossface wrench, and look at the athleticism here. Neither man able to connect with the other on those two dropkick attempts. Del Diablo whipped off the ropes. Wayne with a big boot takes Del Diablo down. Elbow across the chest. Wayne Manor measuring here, and look at that springboard back elbow takes Del Diablo down. And Bruce going for the legs here. Steps through and locks in. Locks it in, this reverse Boston grab locked in, and Demiato in with 2 feet into a break up the submission with the drop kick to the face of Wayne Manor, who's now climbing to the top. Is the Dark Knight gonna fly here, folks? From the top, look at this. Oh my God, look at the innovation, look at the athleticism here from Wayne Manor. Gets in and he flips. 630, breaks it up, whip. Miedo now to the outside. We've got Wayne and Diablo again, both missing each other, but Wayne now goes for that springboard assisted drop kick, and that has to be it, folks. Got that cover locked in. 1, 2, 3. Your winners are Bad Manners, folks. Next week it's going to be Hammer and Nails versus Bad Manners. And we will also see Los Bestias Locas take on the team of the Cosmic Alliance, Moonbeam Jr. and Moonbeam Originales. And the 2 winners of those matches will go to episode 28. We'll have a number 1 contenders match there, folks. Interesting development. I'm looking forward to seeing Hammer and Nails. Will they still have Misfortune with them? Versus the team of Bad Manners next week. Welcome back to part 4, episode 26 of Tombstone TV. Folks, I'm your host, Bullet Von Awesome. I want to welcome you to Tombstone TV, the Championship Wrestling Series. Subscribe to the channel, join the community, leave some comments below, like the videos, tell us what you like, what you don't like. This first matchup now is going to be a women's tag team matchup, and it is Nurse Deceased and Fireperson Sam, the gender-neutral nightmare, on their way to the ring. They are representing the team of the First Response, and they will be taking on, I believe, a surprise team. That'll be an interesting development, see who that's going to be. We saw last week that Faith and Grace beat the women's wrestlers, big-time aerial wrestler and suplex in tag action. Faith and Grace will be heading to a match on episode 28 of Tombstone TV. Episodes 25, 26, and 27 will each have a women's tag team matchup. The 3 winning teams will then face off in a number one contenders match on episode 28 to determine the number one contender for the Dancers CWS Women's World Tag Team Championships. Who will this team of Fireperson Sam? Oh my god, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. It is a brand new team. It's the team of Lady Starshine and her protege, I guess, Bella Trix. Starshine and Trix. Look at this. Bella Trix is after adopting the colors and the look of Lady Starshine. That's an interesting development. We know that Bellatrix has said in the past that Lady Starshine is her favorite wrestler of all time, her favorite women's wrestler. They have been opposed to each other a few times here on CWS and on Tombstone TV. It looks like this thing might have come full circle with Bella now working alongside Lady Starshine in a tag capacity, learning directly from her idol. This also might reinvigorate the passion to wrestle in Lady Starshine. She was our inaugural women's champion here at CWS, but hasn't been on the best run of form since losing that championship. Maybe a dip in her toes in the tag team division is going to be just what the doctor ordered for Lady Starshine, but it looks like Bellatrix and Fireperson Sam are going to start this one off. Referee rings the bell, and straight away Bellatrix brings the fight to Fireperson Sam, scoops Sam up and sidewalk slam to Sam. Kick to the back of Sam. And another kick to the back. Folks, the winner of this will face off against Faith and Grace and another women's tag team to be determined next week on Tombstone TV, episode 27. And the 3 winning teams will all go to episode 28 to have a 3-way women's tag team matchup. I wonder who the other teams will be next week. I would assume that Beach Force will be present, but who will the other team be? You'll have to join us next week on Tombstone TV to find out, as Lady Starshine whips Fireperson Sam to the outside and then hits Nurse DC with the stunner over that top rope and outside to the floor. Referee counts up to 1. Fireperson Sam gets back into the ring before 2. Fireperson Sam trying to hit Lady Starshine accidentally, it seems, connecting with the referee. And look at that for a massive knee lift. Lady Starshine lifting Fireperson Sam into the sky. With that one, Bellatrix gets tagged back in and evades that right hand from Fireperson Sam. Answers back with a kick and a right, and a chop, and a clothesline taking Fireperson Sam down. Bellatrix with the cover. We got a 1, 2, not even a 2 count because Nurse Deceased breaks up the fall. Fireperson Sam back to her feet, and look, Bellatrix wraps her thighs around the face and pulls her down. Hurricane Rana style. Bellatrix with a few new tricks up her sleeve, it seems. Wonder will she learn more from Lady Starshine. Fireperson Sam makes the tag to Nurse Deceased. Lady Starshine, Nurse Deceased, both legal now. And look at that, Nurse with a big right hand to Bellatrix outside on the apron. Lady whipped off the ropes, drops down. Nurse with that arm drag, taking Lady Starshine for a ride, and now talking trash to Lady Starshine. Not a great move here. Nurse Deceased, sleeper hold applied. Lady Starshine got that sleeper in, and look at that. Nurse Deceased answers back with a chin breaker, a stunner of sorts. Lady Starshine rocked. Nurse Deceased whips her off the ropes, and look at that, goes for a knee lift and misses. Lady Starshine manages to, oh my god, goes for a clothesline but gets rugby tackled instead. Makes the tag. Bellatrix now legal. We got Trix. We got Nurse Deceased again. And look at that clothesline. Nurse Deceased taken down. Bellatrix springboards. And look at that reverse Frankensteiner. Oh my god, just taking Nurse Deceased down. Launching Nurse into the corner of the First Response and allowing Nurse Deceased to make the tag to Fireperson Sam. Bella whips Sam off that ropes. Drops down. Leapfrog. Bella with that. Oh my god, look at that drive-by big boot to the face. Bellatrix is so athletic, taking Fireperson Sam down with that. And now has Fireperson Sam right where she wants them in the corner. Grabs the ankles and just launches Sam into space. Grapples the leg, torquing at the ankle. Look at that, stretching out the leg here of Fireperson Sam. Nurse DC's down the outside now stirring. And inside the ring, Bellatrix attacks the leg of Fireperson Sam, makes the tag, and Lady Starshine is now legal. Starshine leaps over Fireperson Sam, climbs up to the top rope, and Lady Starshine from the top with the Starshine splash. The referee's down for the count. We got a 1, 2, and Bellatrix attacks Nurse Deceased in their corner, but it wasn't enough. Fireperson Sam managed to break up the pinfall, kicks out. That was some fantastic wherewithal of Bellatrix. We have a history of CWS of having partners come in and break up the pins. Bellatrix trying to prevent that. Very promising here from the rookie, who's having the best rookie year probably since Travis the Savage Sanchez. Look at that big scoop slam. Lady Starshine with the cover now. 1. Nurse Deceased in to break it up at the count of 1. Lady Starshine goes to tag Bellatrix, but she isn't there. Look at this ground and pound offense. Lady Starshine with the big right hands here to Fireperson Sam. And again, another 5 punches to the face. Lady Starshine now climbing up to the top rope. Starshine from the top. Starshine elbow. And the referee's down for the count. 1, 2, and somehow, someway, Fireperson Sam breaks up the pinfall. Gets the shoulder up. Fans chanting tag team wrestling here, folks. Only on Tombstone TV will you see simulated shoot combat this fine. This is real virtual wrestling. If this is up your alley, please like the videos and subscribe. Lady Starshine must approve of that. That 360 trick here, Bellatrix hits a big time move, but Fireperson Sam actually managed to get the rope break. Bella now makes the tag. Lady Starshine now legal. Starshine in with Fireperson Sam. Sam catches Starshine by the hair and whips her straight down to the floor. Misses the knee. Lady Starshine evades clothesline, but it's a ducked and evaded. And look at this uppercut. Rocks Lady Starshine, but doesn't take her off her feet. Fireperson Sam dragging Starshine into the corner of the first response and bounces her head off that top turnbuckle. And now we've got some tag team offense here from the team of first response. Axe handles from the top across the wrist of Lady Starshine. And Nurse Deceased peppering these shots on Lady Starshine right now. With Starshine head first into the referee. Ref got a little too close to the action right there. And Starshine takes Nurse Deceased down with a big right hand and makes the tag to the much younger, the rookie, Bellatrix. With the opportunity now to do something great. Big right hand. And look at this, Bellatrix, unprettier. Bellatrix just connected with the unprettier. And in the corner here, we've got a 1, 2, and look at that. Nurse Deceased kicks out at 2 after the unprettier attempt by Bellatrix. Fireperson Sam now left reeling against those ropes. Bellatrix whips the Nurse Deceased in. And look at that for a big splash. Fireperson Sam launched to the outside. Bellatrix now focused on Nurse Deceased. And look at this for offense. Oh my god, tilt-a-whirl, rope assisted, top rope, twisted DDT. Bellatrix just go for the cover at this point. Drop kick to the back and 2-foot stomp across the chest. Fireperson Sam trying to chop Bellatrix and misses wildly. And look at that big suplex in that first response corner. DC sets a roll to the outside. Bellatrix follows Nurse Deceased outside. Gets caught up. Look at that picture perfect suplex here from the nurse on the outside here. Shoulder tackle. Neither woman goes down. Now barricade shot and a clubbing blow. Bounce in the face of Bellatrix off that barricade here on the outside. Bellatrix trying to get back into the ring to settle this thing like grown-ass women. Bella now whipping Nurse Deceased off the ropes. Bella with the drop down. Leapfrog. And goes for that drive-by kick to the face. Nurse Deceased evades it, kicks Bella and gets a cover of her own. 1, 2, and a kick out at 2. Bellatrix is not getting pinned quite that easily. Gut punch. Nurse now up against the ropes. Bella, look at that Pele kick. Nurse out over the top. And look at this. Oh my God. Through the ropes and Hurricane Rana. Bellatrix taking the fight to Nurse Deceased. There's a YouTube short or a TikTok for you. Dropkick here on the outside. Bellatrix taking the fight to Nurse Deceased. Locks up and whips Nurse back into the ring as the referee gets to the count of 5. Bellatrix follows back on into the ring. Dragging Nurse Deceased by the hair. Bouncing the head off that top turnbuckle. Makes the tag here. Lady Starshine with the big right hand to the gut. Nurse Deceased. And a punch to the chest. A chop across the back. And look at this chokehold being applied over the rope. Lady Starshine climbing up to the top ropes. Nurse has nowhere to go. Starshine elbow, it seems. Yet again, this time misses wildly. But Bella connects with the big right hand. Nurse tries to get over to the first response corner, but Lady Starshine fights out of it. Grapples up with Nurse Deceased. Ducks. And look at this. Inverted atomic drop. Lady Starshine with a suplex taking Nurse Deceased down. Bellatrix signaling that this is it. She thinks she's got the match in the palm of her hand. Kick to the back and now makes the tag to Lady Starshine. Is an interesting choice. Starshine scoops D up and look at that for a perfect suplex. Center of the ring. Lady Starshine now goes for the cover. Fireperson Sam straight away in to break up that count. And look at that elbow across the chest of Nurse Deceased. I have to say the team of Starshine and Trix on their debut outing seem to be going really well here. And look at that for a big powered up scoop slam. Starshine taking the fight here. Now Nurse Deceased some ground and pound offense. Nurse has nowhere to go. And Lady Starshine, it looks like she's going for the third time from the top. Starshine elbow connects. Goes for the cover. One and Fireperson Sam in to break up the count again. Lady Starshine peppers Nurse Deceased with some right hands. And that was a targeted fist straight to the face. Bellatrix, where's she going? Up to the top rope. What are we looking for here? Look at this. Bellatrix with that twisting splash from the top. And a double foot stomp across the chest. A kick to the face. Nurse Deceased might need to go to A&E after this one, folks. Bella's dragging the nurse back to the corner of Starshine and Trix. Makes that tag. Nurse Deceased now dropping Lady Starshine. I wonder how Lady Starshine is feeling now that Moonbeam Originales is back in the world of wrestling after their falling out a couple of years ago. Highly publicized tension between those two. Rumblings between the Cosmic Alliance, perhaps. Fireperson Sam now throws Lady Starshine back into the ring as Nurse grabs Bellatrix over the top and clubs and blows in the back of her head. Lady Starshine now off the distraction. Clubs the chest of Nurse Deceased, and look at that, a club across the back as well. Lady Starshine whips Nurse Deceased into that far corner and follows up. Look at this, wrist being bent across the ropes. bounces the head of Nurse DC. Stop this top turnbuckle again and again and again and again. Lady Starshine makes the tag. Bellatrix now legal. Goes for the double foot stomp. Rolls through out of the evasion. Kicks. Look at that step up. Insecurity. Bellatrix. Oh, leg caught, dragon screw on the outside. Nurse DC's talking trash now to the fans, to Bellatrix, who scoops up, and look at this for a stretch outside on the floor. The octopus locked in. Bellatrix locks in the octopus. Nurse DC says nowhere to go. Referees count up to 6. And it looks like Nurse is managing to break the hold. Count of 7. Nurse deceased. Bellatrix both need to get back into the ring. Nurse with the clothesline taking Bellatrix off her feet. Rest count up to 8. And just before the count of 9, Bellatrix gets back into the ring. Gets whipped off the ropes. Nurse with the drop down. Leapfrog. And look at that, a running knee to the gut, taking Bellatrix off her feet. Big right hands over the head, and look at that clothesline taking Bellatrix off her feet. Nurse DC's now sneaking up behind Bellatrix, dragging Bella over to the corner of the first response. Bounces the head off that top turnbuckle, makes the tag. Fire person Sam now legal. And you've got the tag team offense here. Team first response, big back body drop. Bellatrix taken down flat to the mat, rolling to the outside. Fire person Sam sneaking around Lady Starshine, talking some trash here right in front of our desk. Fireperson Sam locking up out here, taking Lady Starshine down. Attention, maybe in the wrong area. Bellatrix grapples with, oh no, look at this. Nurse managed to drop Bellatrix, and Fireperson Sam going for the cover now in their first response corner, and a kick out at 1. Are you kidding me? Bellatrix has been in this match for a long time and manages to kick out at 1. Head bounced off that top turnbuckle. The team in the first response with another quick tag. Nurse now legal. And look at this, axe handles across the top of that arm. And Nurse deceased to scoop up and power slam. Bellatrix brought down center of the ring, and Lady Starshine dives in from nowhere to break up the count. Both illegal partners now out of the ring. The Nurse taking the fight here and applying the camel clutch here to Bellatrix. Bella might be forced to tap. Lady Starshine and Fireperson Sam both in the ring and now getting whipped out. Nurse chases Bella to the outside. Bellatrix is surely worse for wear here, folks. Nurse is cranking at the head of Bellatrix. Refs count up to 4. We got Lady Starshine, Nurse deceased in the outside, and look at this, Bellatrix connects, that's over the top rope, stunner to the outside, launching Fireperson Sam to the flat of their back. Nurse now getting up to her feet as Lady Starshine makes the tag. Great opportunity for Starshine to take Nurse deceased down, get the cover. Starshine scoops her up, and look at this for a power slam. Starshine with the cover, no one left to help. 1, 2, 3, and that's it, just like that. Starshine and Trix with the win over the team of first response, and Starshine and Trix will move on. Can you believe it? They move on to episode 28. They will be in that triple threat women's tag match against Faith and Grace and another team yet to be decided. Find out who it's going to be. We know Beach Force will be in action next week, but who will Beach Force be teaming against? Find out next week on episode 27, Tombstone TV. This has been part 4. Thank you for joining us so far tonight, and come back for part 5. Part 5 of episode 26, Tombstone TV, folks. And your next bout is a singles contest. Folks, this matchup will feature the prospect of the Grim Reapers, Moto, formerly known as Yamamoto. Motor is here alongside his president of the Reapers, Wrench M. We saw Wrench beat Prince Toro last week in a Contenders qualifier matchup, so we know Wrench is going on to the Contenders qualification. The Contenders bout, Contender 7 on episode 28. This is interesting to see, folks. Here we have Motor and Wrench actually looking like a bit of a unit here. After being bitter rivals for so long, it looks as though Yamamoto might have found his calling here as one of the Reapers, which is an interesting development here. I know a lot of people online were saying that they thought he was just after infiltrating the group and he was going to beat them up from inside, but it looks like that might not be the case. Folks, this is actually a matchup against Mick Man alongside brothers Vincent and Kennedy. Mick Man is looking for an opportunity here for the Intercontinental Championship at CWS. We're going to have some matchups here in the next 3 episodes of Tombstone TV for people who want shots at the Intercontinental Championship. Mick Man and Motor are both in that category. The winners of these matches will go to a multi-man matchup later on. The winner of that will become the number 1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship, and they will get to face Will Richards at Fight at the Opera. So folks, this will be an interesting one. We've got Mick Man versus the prospect of the Grim Reapers, Motor. Ref rings the bell and a right hand Mick Man to Motor. He pushes him down. Stomp across the ankle here, Motor. Wrench watching on as the prospect seems to be getting himself beat right now. Knee slammed straight into the mat and a kick to the face. And look at that, a stomp across the gut here of Motor. Wrench can't be too happy with what he sees as Motor has his face driven into the mat. But Vince and Kennedy on the outside have to be very happy with Mick's performance so far as he drives Motor's face into his knee, bouncing the head off that mat. Mick Man now in total control here of Motor. Stomp across the face here, Motor in a bad way. Mick measuring him, Motor rolls out of the way and answers, goes for the clothesline but eats a neck breaker instead. Mick Man, deceptively agile, incredibly powerful. Look at these right hands to the face of Motor. Stomp across the face, the prospect absolutely unable to get a shot in this one so far. Discus punch and takes Motor down. Mick Man watching as the prospect pulls himself up right in front of Wrench. Chop across the chest. Mick Man, oh my god, look at this already. Oh my god, Motor manages to reverse the momentum on that one, and a Uranagi of sorts to Mick Man, catches him by the throat and launches Mick Man around the ring. All the weight of Motor across the chest of Mick Man. Mick Man's getting squashed here. Motor whips Mick back and forth, a clothesline taking Mick down. Motor right hand and a chop and a punch to the gut, punch to the face, club across the back, another club across the back, axe handles to the back here of Mick Man. And up to the top. Oh my god, Mick just caught Motor and launched him from the top rope to the floor. Mick now taking advice from his brothers here. Sneaks up behind Motor, knee across the face. Mick Man, he might be able to do this here, folks. Scoops him up, but no, Motor fights back, headbutt to Mick, catches him by the back, headbutt to the back of the head. No one wins with a headbutt, Motor. But look at this. Grabs around the waist and just absolutely face plants McMahon to the mat. Motor measuring a big open hand slap takes McMahon down. Mick having to roll out to the outside. Motor's following him right in front of my announce desk here, surrounded by my colleagues Sean Shaunerson and Carl Briscoe Regan. Motor back into the ring. Shoulder tackle from Mick to Motor. Can't take him down. Motor whipping Mick to the corner. Big time splash in the corner. Motor now goes for the cover on Mick. All that weight across the chest of Mick, but Mick kicks out at one. He gets that shoulder up. And the prospect now, all his weight across the back of Mick as Wrench watches on. Oh my God, kick to the face. Motor's down. Mick dragging Motor, center of the ring. Prospects back up. Gets whipped off the ropes. Referee narrowly gets out of the way. This time the shoulder tackle doesn't take Prospect down. Mick going for a choke slam on Motor. Surely not. Nah, decides to go with a gut punch instead. Big right hand over the top. Vincent and Kennedy on the outside watching. Wrench looking on as the Prospect's getting himself beaten. Club across the back. Mick eats a kick from Motor, goes a bit low here. Clothesline takes Mick down. Motor now scooping him up, and look at this overhead throw to Mick. Man goes down the Prospect. We've seen this before. He's gone to the top rope. Are we going to get to see the Yamamoto Motor moonsault? No, we're not. Mick out of the way, too far away. He evades it. The ring president of McMahon to roll out of the way. And now he's after getting up and turning the momentum again. These clubs across the back, taking Motor down. McMahon stomps across the back of the arm. McMahon dragging Motor. Center of the ring, it seems. Gonna go for a cover. Nope. McMahon scoops Motor up onto his shoulders, and look at the power of McMahon. Dominator. McMahon. Dominator. McMahon with that Dominator. And now positioning Motor. Gets the cover. Wrench watching on. 1, 2, 3. I can't believe it. Motor loses. McMahon wins. McMahon will move on to the multi-man Intercontinental #1 contenders matchup. Vincent and Kennedy in the ring with their brother. Wrench on the outside, so bitterly disappointed in the actions of Motor, who's unable to get the win. Great win for McMahon. Great win in the column of the Man Family Entertainment Group. Vincent, Kennedy, McMahon, folks. That's been part 5, episode 26. We've got contenders qualification matches coming up later on tonight. Contenders qualification match 5. That's up next. Join us for that. Folks, this is part 6 of Tombstone TV episode 26. And we have a Contenders 7 qualifier coming up. Introducing first, former winner of a Contenders matchup himself. This is Mr. Marshall Harts entering this one. Folks, if you've been with us since the start of the show here tonight, you'll know that we had a matchup between El Maestro and Killian Curse earlier on the site this evening, and that match went to a draw as both men were counted out. Management has decided that simply cannot stand, and management want a rematch later on tonight, folks. It's gonna be no disqualifications and no countouts, though. We have to determine a winner. One of the men, Killian Curse or El Maestro, will have to be in the Contenders matchup. So that's gonna happen, and for the first time ever, folks, an episode of Tombstone TV is gonna have 8 matches. And folks, who the... Oh my God! Surely it can't be. On his way to the ring, hailing from Grenoble, France, making his debut, Championship Wrestling Series, making his debut on Tombstone TV. Folks, I can't believe this man is here. This guy is a phenomenal athlete. He hails all the way from France. You may know him as being a former European basketballer turn wrestler. This is Baptiste. Ladies and gentlemen, Baptiste is signed with Tombstone TV, signed with Championship Wrestling Series, and he is here, and his first matchup is going to be against Martial Arts in a Contenders qualification matchup. Oh, this is a very interesting turn of events here at CWS. Constantly shocking and surprising even me, folks. Baptiste is here. The size of this man. Referee rings the bell. Big right hand. Baptiste straight in with a big back. Oh my God, no bulldog. Martial Arts turns the momentum and gets a bulldog on Baptiste. Ducks under. Drags Baptiste down to the mat and stomps across the back of the arm. Martial now drops the knee across the face of Baptiste. Ducks down. Look at Martial Arts. Right hand to the back of the head of Baptiste. Whips Baptiste into the corner. Martial now bounces Baptiste's head off that top turnbuckle. Martial climbing up to the top. And look at this, choking Baptiste. Releases Baptiste flat to the mat. Martial Arts going for the cover off that choke. 1. We got a 2, and Baptiste kicks out at 2. He gets the shoulders up and kicks out of that one. Martial now elbows to the top of the head of Baptiste. Big right hand combo. Gut punch. Baptiste is a massive behemoth of a man. He's got Martial up and drops him across that top rope. Baptiste with the cover on Martial Arts. 1, and a kick out at 1. Knee to the face. Stomp across the chest here. Baptiste taking the fight to Martial Arts in the corner. Knee to the back. Baptiste going from the second row, folks, with a double axe handle off the top. Baptiste stomping on Martial Arts. Baptiste took too long there. Martial now gets the neck breaker and drops Baptiste flat to the mat. Twists the arm, takes Baptiste down. Stomp across the back of the shoulder. Martial Arts stomp again across Baptiste's chest. All the weight across Baptiste here, and Martial twists him inside out. And look at that, folks. The human arm is not supposed to bend that way. This is simulated shoot combat. This is real virtual wrestling, folks. This isn't the wrestling you know. There's no predetermined winners here. This is a shoot, brother. Martial taken down with that knee from Baptiste. Baptiste rocking on here, folks. Goes for that clothesline, but Martial sidesteps and sending Baptiste out to the outside. Martial from the top rope. We don't often see this. Stalking Baptiste, waiting for the man to get up, and Martial double axe sandals from that top to the outside, taking Baptiste down. Martial drops the knee across the face of Baptiste, right in front of these adoring, screaming fans, right in front of the Tombstone TV logo, and the fight at the Opera Barricade, representing what these men are fighting for. If you can get into the Contenders matchup, you have the chance at winning, and then you become the number 1 contender for the CWS World's Heavyweight Championship, and you'll be the man to face major attraction at our 7th pay-per-view, a fight at the Opera 2. Martial Arts eats a big elbow here. Baptiste gets punched in the face. Refs count up to 6. Both men on the outside. Baptiste launches Martial back into the ring. Obviously watched the match earlier. Does not want to get counted out. Look at that elbow. Martial Arts just took Baptiste down with the drive-by elbow. 1, 2, and a shoulder up. Baptiste breaks up the pinfall attempt at 2. Martial is beside himself as Baptiste, big giant of a man, is trying to get back to his feet, but Martial won't allow it. Arm DDT, twists, and look at this, armbar locked in now. Baptiste seems like he's nowhere to go, but Martial releases it. and drags Baptiste center of the ring. Marshall steps through center of the ring. Martial arts as the sharpshooter locked in. We've seen Marshall win many a match with the sharpshooter. Baptiste has nowhere to go. Surely he's going to have to tap. He's going to have to submit. No, Baptiste using his physical power and size, his strength, taking the fight to Marshall, who again evades it and gets down, rolls through, and Marshall now with the cover, but Baptiste right next to the ropes here, folks. That's it. Martial Arts gets the pinfall. Marshall beats Baptiste, and I'm so much shocked at what ease Marshall was able to pick up that victory. Baptiste is a huge Goliath of a man, but Martial Arts is trained all around the world in many fighting styles, and I can't say I'm surprised that Marshall picked up the win. In all honesty, that was a stiff competition bout here between those two. I imagine we're going to see a lot more from Baptiste in the future, but Martial Arts will go on to Contender 7, folks. We have, normally I'd be saying this is our semi-main event, and we were going straight to the main after this, which would be a Contenders qualification match also, but folks, we have to do that rematch. So part 6 is not your semi-main of the evening. The next matchup will be the semi-main event, and we're going to have that rematch, that no disqualification count-out rematch between Killian Curse and El Maestro in the main event. But first, who's going to be in Contenders qualification matchup bout 6? Find out with me. Come back for part 7 of episode 26, Tombstone TV. That's up next. This is part 7, Tombstone TV, episode 26. This is a Contenders qualification matchup, and introducing combatant number 1, this is Carlos Reyes. Carlos Reyes in the yellow with the cape, alongside his partner, protege, the Platinum Kid. Carlos Reyes is hoping to qualify for Contenders, win the Contenders match, and hopefully face off against major attraction for the CWS World's Heavyweight Championship at Fight at the Opera 2. That's February's pay-per-view, coming to you from Championship Wrestling Series. I am your host, Bullet Von Awesome. I want to thank you for joining us here on Tombstone TV every Tuesday night. If you like what you see, leave a comment below, like the videos, and share the content. Follow us on TikTok, X, Instagram, mainly on YouTube. Let us know what you like about CWS, don't like. Tell us what grips your interest, what you want to see from the show. As we head towards Contender 7, it looks like Carlos Reyes' opposition for this evening is Travis the Savage Sanchez. This will be an excellent bout here. You know, Travis the Savage Sanchez is a former professional boxer, and he is training to become a pro wrestler under the tutelage of Martial Arts. We saw Martial earlier this evening where he beat Baptiste, making his debut in a qualification match for Contenders. If Travis wins this, it looks like both of the team of Savage Hearts, that's Travis the Savage Sanchez and Martial Arts, might both end up in this Contenders matchup. What would happen if they had to stand opposed? Student, master, that would be an interesting dynamic. Much like the dynamic on the outside here between the Platinum Kid and Carlos Reyes. However, it's the protege to Martial Arts versus the master, Carlos Reyes. This will be an interesting bout. This should be your main event of the evening, but obviously after the events earlier this evening between Killian Curse and El Maestro went to a draw, double count out on the outside, management has decided there must be a winner. This is the first episode of Tombstone TV that will have 8 matches, 8 parts to it. It'll be a no disqualification, no count out matchup. They will have to wrestle again after this. And look at this. Carlos Reyes straight away with a double underhook, bridging suplex, and 1, 2. Is this it? Oh my God. Straight off the bat, I thought Carlos Reyes was going to pick up the victory there. But no, look at these body shots here from Travis the Savage Sanchez. And look at this. Ground and pound and some knees. Vicious knees. Clubbing blows. Travis with the knee to the face. Couldn't have done that in the boxing ring, but he can do it here. Martial arts is playing to the strengths of Travis the Savage Sanchez and teaching him how to do more than just punch. Although you still have to fear that KO blow from Travis the Savage Sanchez. Look at the speed of Carlos Reyes, taking him down with that crucifix pin, released it, and answers back with a little clothesline, but Travis does not go down. Travis the Savage Sanchez picking Carlos up and slamming him to the mat. Carlos using those ropes to pull himself up, and Travis grabbing Carlos from behind. And look at Travis using the ropes, leveraging the ropes there. Foot up on the second one, torquing around to the third. Knees and kicks to the chest here of Carlos Reyes, who really hasn't got out of first gear here, as Travis is unloading fury on the back here of Carlos Reyes. The Platinum Kid on the outside, forced to watch as his mentor gets disrespected. Travis wiping his feet. A discus punch. Travis with that knockout discus punch. We've got a 1, 2, and a kick out at 2. Somehow Carlos Reyes managed to kick out Travis's discus knockout punch. That has ended many a match. Travis now steps on through, and look at this, Travis with the step over STF, locked in on Carlos Reyes, center of the ring. Travis is learning the submission holds from martial arts, but Carlos looks like he's able to break it. Look at that. Travis, inexperienced as he is, may not have had that one fully locked in. Carlos he just evaded the knockout blow again. And look at that, an inverted atomic drop. Carlos now grabs Travis from behind, picks him up, sidewalk slam into the corner. Carlos finds a second wind here. Scoops Travis up again, and looks like he's going for that sidewalk slam one more time, but Travis gets out of it. Knee to the head, right hand caught, right hand from Carlos, missed. Carlos twists the arm, ducks under, and Travis reverses it with a kick to the gut. Travis, this time, this thing's going back and forth here, folks. Carlos whips Travis off the ropes, slingshots back, and look at that for an arm drag takeover. Carlos talking trash to Travis the Savage Sanchez on the floor. Big right hand over the head. Carlos misses that time as Travis rolls away, but he can't roll out of this. Dropped, throat burst across that top rope. Carlos with the drop kick to the back of Travis's head. Travis rolling to the outside here, but Carlos Reyes, what's he got in store? Carlos suicide dive to the outside, lands right in front of our desks here. Are you okay, Carl Briscoe Regan? That's good. And Sean Shaunerson, you okay? Sean, watch your language, boy. Look at this, an abdominal start. Look at that. Look at Carlos stretching out Travis the Savage Sanchez right before my very eyes, folks. Travis now with some punches to the knee, and look at that arm drag taking Carlos Reyes over. Refs count up to 6. Travis making his way back to the ring. Carlos quick after him. Lock up. Whip off the ropes. And Travis, look at this. Catches Carlos, rolls him through, and a kick to the chest. Travis the Savage Sanchez kicked the back of Carlos Reyes. And a knee, a vicious knee, that onslaught to the face. Travis the Savage Sanchez is all over this one. Discus, knockout punch, and that's got to be it, folks. Ref down for the count, 1. And look at that, the wherewithal of Carlos Reyes, the ring positioning of this legend, this veteran. He knew where he was, and he forced a break by grabbing the bottom rope. Travis had no choice but to let that go. But again, another vicious knee to the face. Carlos right back up, as if triggered by the blow. Rugby tackle missed, and Carlos with the clothesline takes Travis down. And now it's martial arts up in the apron, offering the distraction. And Travis, look at that. Oh my gosh, look at that. Travis taking advantage of the distraction. Scoops Carlos up, but Carlos gets out of it. Drops down with a chop block. Takes Travis down. Carlos now going for the pin. Any move could do it, folks. Remember that. 1, and Travis gets the shoulder up at 1. Carlos Reyes has to do a lot more than that to keep the Savage down. Goes for a gut wrench, and no, Travis lifts him up. Big back body drop. Travis seems to have Carlos in the palm of his hand here, folks. He's measured him, and Carlos goes for a clothesline. Travis evades it. Up onto the shoulders goes Carlos Reyes, and Travis drops him snake eyes across that top turnbuckle. Carlos falls into that turnbuckle, and now it's Travis grabbing the ankles and launching Carlos into the sky. Travis gets pushed off. Carlos is back up, looking for sweet revenge. Maybe that pile driver. Maybe the sharpshooter. He steps on through. He's got the sharpshooter locked in. Carlos with the sharpshooters locked in. Will Travis make the ropes? Will Travis get out, or will Travis be forced to tap? We've seen Carlos win many a match off this sharpshooter. Maybe this will be another one. Which man is going to contender 7? Travis just rolled through and kicked off Carlos Reyes. Travis is measuring Carlos Reyes. That takedown here and some ground and pound, some right hands to the face. You know, Travis is just looking for that one right hand, that super punch that Travis has, that savage punch. And there we go, that discus KO punch for the 3rd time, and surely that's it. 1, 2, 3. Travis the Savage Sanchez is going to contenders 7 alongside his Savage Arts partner in Martial Arts. Folks, this has been your semi-main event of the evening. Part 7, Tombstone TV, episode 26. Please come back for your surprise main event where we're going to rematch El Maestro and Killian Curse to see which of the two men will head to contenders 7. This is your main event of the evening. This is the rematch from part 2 of this very episode. We have the contenders matchup between El Maestro and Killian Curse. Introducing first for the 2nd time tonight on his way to the ring. This is El Maestro, Spanish teacher, music teacher by day, wrestler by night. El Maestro drops people on his head for a living and does not want his students to know who he is. The man is an enigma wrapped in a mystery. His opponent for this evening, you'll know him very well as the Death Eater himself, master of the occult, one of the cursed ones on its way to the ring. This is Killian Curse, master of the Avada Kedavra running knee and the Cruciatus submission curse. Killian Curse vowed backstage that he is going to make short work of this one. Due to the double count out earlier, the unfortunate nature of how that match ended, management has decided this will be no disqualification, no countouts, balls will count anywhere. El Maestro versus Killian Curse. Which of these men is going to contender 7 to have an opportunity at the CWS World Heavyweight Champion? Will it be El Maestro? Will it be Killian Curse? Thank you all for joining us here on Tombstone TV. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, like the videos, leave a comment below, share with your friends, share with your enemies, share with your dog. If you know anyone who likes simulated combat, real virtual wrestling, this is the home for that. We are the home. Premium events, premium live events, free premium events. Look at this big knee. Killian Curse already taking El Maestro down, but El Maestro answers back with a clothesline and another clothesline. El Maestro taking the head damn near off Killian Curse. Look at this. Float over DDT, and Killian Curse is rocked. He is down. El Maestro shotgun drop kick takes Killian down to the mat. Goes for some ground and pound, but Killian rolls through. El Maestro using the ropes to pull himself up. Killian measuring him. Killian from behind with a German suplex to El Maestro, dropping him onto the back of his head. Killian now goes to the outside looking for those steel steps. El Maestro feints a slide to the outside, gets back into the ring. Oh, and look at this basement slide outside, and El Maestro launches himself to the outside and lands on his feet. Killian again goes for those steps. El Maestro manages to kick. Killian forces the release. Killian leaps into the air with a flying forearm. El Maestro kicks right back up and answers with some right hands. And look at this. El Maestro taking Killian Curse down to the ground. And now a little soccer style kick and a pinfall on the outside. The referee didn't follow them outside though, which is a bit ridiculous. Killian Curse has the time and he kicks out before the referee even counts to one. Killian Curse with a massive drop kick. The referee now on the outside. You can see the shoulders down. 1, 2, and a kick out at 2. El Maestro saves himself in this one. Killian Curse, look at that, he hits it. That's it. The Avada Kedavra, the running knee on the outside. Killian Curse connects with that knee to the face and now throws El Maestro back into the ring. And again, knees to the back of El Maestro. Killian now again sliding to the outside, looking for the steel steps as if he really wants to cause some harm here. Seems like El Maestro just wants to win. And again, he goes for that basement slide. Somehow it doesn't work. Killian sees through it. Look at these whipping, clubbing chops. And another knee to the chest. A knee to the chest. And Killian takes El Maestro off his feet. And ground and pound. No, El Maestro rolls through and answers backwards and rights. The referee is blocking my view here, folks. But El Maestro whips Killian into that corner. And he scoops him up onto that second rope. What's going on here? El Maestro, look at that for a leg drop across the throat. Killian Curse with nowhere to go but down flat to the mat and land on his back. El Maestro from the top, elbow drop from the top. El Maestro looking to teach Killian Curse a lesson. We got not even a 1 count because the referee took too long to get out. I've never seen this referee before. He is not good at his job. El Maestro suplexes Killian Curse into the steel steps and El Maestro says, "So wish." El Maestro slides back into the ring, and now it's El Maestro picking up those stairs, moving them slightly. What has he got in mind? Slides back out to the outside, ducks under, rolls through. Killian Curse just got Pele kick to the face. El Maestro sneaking up behind Killian. Oh, gets an elbow to the gut. And a float over DDT outside on the floor. Killian Curse taken down right in front of those screaming fans. Referee gets down for the count. 1. This is it, folks. 2. Killian Curse kicks out at 2. And somehow he is still in it. As if by magic, Killian Curse is still in it. He goes for that flying forearm. El Maestro evades it but can't evade the stiff punch. And look, there's a float over DDT outside on the floor. And I think El Maestro might be busted open, ladies and gentlemen. He gets whipped back into the ring. Killian Curse just needs to take advantage of this turn of momentum. Oh my god, and he hits a big boot. El Maestro connects with that big boot. Killian Curse is down. Getting stomped on right now. El Maestro picking up those steel steps. And oh my god, steel steps to the face. Killian Curse is brought crashing down. And it hurts inside. Because he is a real magician. El Maestro absolutely laying waste to Killian here with these steel steps. Going for a third blow, but Killian Curse played possum. Got an uppercut, and now he's going for a suplex on El Maestro. Squatting, suplex. El Maestro up on the shoulder. Killian Curse drops him flat into the center of the ring. Killian Curse measuring El Maestro. Dragging him back to where he wants him to be. And look at that for a stiff right hand. El Maestro being brought down by Killian Curse. Maestro rolls to the outside. Killian measuring El Maestro. Grapples him. And he slides to the outside between the second and third rope. So what's Killian going for here? Folks, not on the hardest part of the ring. That DDT outside on the apron. And I don't know if you'll know this, folks, but the apron is the hardest part of the ring. El Maestro somehow rolls through and gets some stiff elbow shots to the face of Killian Curse. Now it's El Maestro in control. And he's going to suplex Killian. Oh my god, no. Look at that. Picked him up and twist neck breaker. We've got a 1, 2. Killian's out, folks. Oh my god, he broke up the count. Killian Curse kicked out. I don't know how he did it, folks. El Maestro blocks that dropkick attempt. El Maestro whips Killian back into the ring. The falls last anywhere, folks. They don't have to do the center of the ring, but I think these guys want to go traditional about it, and there's El Maestro with a beautiful dropkick, and he's talking trash to Killian Curse, saying, "This is my ring, Junior." El Maestro charges into the corner, knee to the face, Killian brought down. El Maestro picking up the steel steps again, looking to cause some damage here maybe. Killian stirring, trying to get back to his feet, and eats a steel chair shot to the face. And a steel step shot to the back. El Maestro just reluctant to let those steps down, and another blow, this time to the head of Killian Curse. El Maestro doesn't seem like he minds taking a shortcut to victory here. Killian trying to get back to his feet but can't. Another stair shot to the back of Killian Curse. Oh, Killian with some right hands, left, and that discus clothesline. Killian Curse took El Maestro down, kick across the gut. Could this be enough? Killian scoops him up, walking round the ring with El Maestro in his arms, and Killian Curse just tossed El Maestro out over the ring like yesterday's garbage, out over the top rope and to the floor right in front of us. Heard that almighty thud, and here he is, folks. He's locked in that Cruciatus Curse right in front of us, Cruciatus locked in. El Maestro has nowhere to go. He has nowhere to go, folks. Is he going to have to tap? Killian's wrenching back with the Cruciatus Curse locked in. Can El Maestro break it up, or will he be forced to tap out? He's broken the hold. El Maestro just broke the hold. That might have been Killian's best opportunity to win this matchup. El Maestro scoops him up for a suplex, and he's got him dropped again. El Maestro drops Killian Curse. 1, 2, 3. El Maestro is going to Contender 7. And Killian Curse again cannot pick up a victory. A bitter defeat here for Killian Curse, but a great win for El Maestro. Fantastic win for this veteran of the game. I want to thank you all for joining us here for the main event. Thank you for joining us for Tombstone TV. Like the video, subscribe, join the channel, join the community, leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought of tonight's show. Happy Tuesday, folks. Championship Wrestling Series, where wrestling is all fun and games. I've been Bullet Von Awesome. You've been Class. Come back next week. We'll have episode 27 and a lot more fun. Thank you.